Well, good morning, and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Friday, August 20th, the 20th Friday of Ordinary Time, and it is the feast day of Saint Bernard. He was an abbot or monk um, during the time of the Crusades, I believe, around the 1100s, and he is known as one of the doctors of the church, meaning he had a significant influence on the church through his writings and his teachings and just through his theology and research. Um, so that is Saint Bernard, and he is the patron saint of beekeepers and candle makers. Today's gospel is from Matthew chapter 22, verses 34 through 40. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. When the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a scholar of the law, tested him by asking, "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" He said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments." Okay, so we've got the greatest commandment in which the scholars, the Jewish scholars, are trying to trap Jesus because a devout Jew during this time period, even now actually, all the commandments were supposed to be treated equally. So they put to question Jesus, which one's greatest, trying to stump him. They knew what they were doing. But then Jesus also knew what they were doing as well. So Jesus took it in stride, and he taught them all what's the most important, and it's centered on love. And you can tell pretty quickly that Jesus is very good at humbling those who think they know it all. So he humbles the arrogant, and he likes to knock us down a few pegs, and that's all of humanity. Jesus will always humble us and ask us to love him more, because he knows that love should be the center of our life, especially centered on God. And Jesus wants all of us. He wants the entirety of our being, our mind, body, heart, soul, everything. And if we keep that from him, we're missing out on the greatness of what God can and will do for us. But it's all centered on love. It reminded me of a video that we did this summer at the parish, in which we were talking about joy, because we all want joy, but then we need to make sure that we prioritize it the right way. Joy, J for Jesus, O for others, and then finally Y for yourself. And that's how we can find that joy that we also deeply yearn for. And notice how us ourselves are last on that. However, I have a little twist on that today, because I full-heartedly agree. Jesus comes first, and then love of others, and doing things for others, and then for yourself. However, whenever it comes to love specifically, I think sometimes the Y and the O can be interchanged, because a lot of us, I think, love other people more than we love ourselves, where we treat other people and give them more time than what we do for ourselves. And I think that's going to be the challenge for today. But you can only learn to love yourself by going to Jesus first and praying and just trying to learn more about him. But just that prayer and that foundation of humility in prayer is how one can learn to truly love themselves, because Jesus wants us to love ourselves. And I think that's the challenge for today, is like reflect upon, how do you love yourself, and what can or are you doing to make that such a deep love and respect for yourself that you can give that to others without feeling like you can't do that for yourself as well, with God, of course, at the top. So take that as you wish. Have a great day. God bless, and keep it real. In the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen.